All right, welcome to my YouTube channel. So for my first video ever here, I'm going to break down a game that I played. This is just an open play game, but these are all 4 or 5-ish level players. We all play like 5-0 level in tournaments and stuff like that. So it's going to be some higher level pickleball. So we're gonna break down things from a pickleball IQ perspective. We're gonna look at like court positioning and technique and things like that. So I'm gonna break down 2 games here. The first one we lost, and then the second one we ended up winning. So I'm going to show you both sides. I'm going to show you the losing side and the winning side, right? I'm going to show you why we lost and then why we won. So it's good to understand both, not just one. But yeah, without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump right in. So this is going to be 2 games right here. So the first one, so me and my partner, we're on the other side right there. We're playing against 2 pretty good players here. We all play together, so we're all familiar with each other's games and everything. But yeah, there's going to be some good things in here. So yeah, so right here, so first thing I want to look at, so watch this. So my partner, she has a tendency to, when she gets this cross court wide dink, she wants to go up the line, which isn't always the best shots. It's usually a ball that's going to get earned by some higher level players. And then this, my opponent here, he goes for this shot a lot, so I was already anticipating that that was going to happen. So I'm anticipating that he's probably going to come middle right here. So I'm going to sit heavy on my 2-hand backhand, and that's exactly what happens here. So he goes for the Ernie, and then I'm just sitting there on that 2-handed backhand waiting, and I just put it right at my other opponent's feet. So that was just a pattern recognition thing. That's one thing you'll see at a lot of the higher levels. A lot of times what will happen is at lower levels, this person here will not anticipate that this ball is coming middle. They'll sit a little bit wider here, and then they'll let that ball go right past them in the middle. So anytime this person gets pulled out wide, you almost want to slide over and just anticipate that they're probably going to go somewhere in this general area. They could go cross court, but it's going to be a very, very difficult shot, and they would have to drop it in. So that would still give you some time potentially to get to the ball. But more than likely, they're going, right down the middle here. So just be able to anticipate that, and I'm, able to get that with a easy 2-handed backhand there. Yep. So my partner, she just misses the short hop ball there, and yeah, and then they drop a ball way low, and she's not able to get it. So, and then another high ball there. So that's going to be a big theme with both of these games is a lot of high attackable balls. You'll see a lot of that these 2 games here. And she misses an easy dink. Yep. Yeah, and then he gets that was a pretty good shot there. So if you watch carefully, see how, so this guy here, he's hitting the ball. His partner is anticipating that he's going to hit a good drop, and so he's going to actually creep in and apply some pressure to me. So watch where he hits this ball. He hits it deep cross court. So because he's standing right here, I know that I cannot go, in this general area. I'm going to have to go cross court. It's very unlikely that I'm going to, from where the ball's at, it's basically like right below my knees. It'd be a very, very tough shot for me to put this ball like right here in front of me or even towards the middle. So I almost have to go cross court because I know that he's sitting here. He's putting a lot of pressure on me. So I have to basically concede and hit this ball, cross court at this angle. And that's exactly what happened. So even then, I hit a good shot cross court, but even then, he was like almost there. So that's just good court positioning on his part to put a lot of pressure on me over here. Yep, and then right there, that was just a bad shot. So I hit a good return, and then get the have to take the drop off the bounce. So I kind of hesitated a little bit. I was like, should I speed up this ball or should I just drop it in? And then I end up not really doing either one, and I give him a high ball, and he puts it right at my hip. So. And then that was just a unfortunate shot there. It lands right at my partner's feet, and she's unable to get it back. So yeah, same thing here on this one. So see, he hits a pretty good drop at a sharp angle right towards, right there in the middle. And because he's approaching here, I know that my only option is to go back wide cross court, because if I leave it hanging up somewhere in the middle or right in this area, he's going to be there to poach it. So because of that, because of him putting pressure on me, I miss this shot. I go too wide of an angle and end up missing it out. So good positioning by my opponent here, putting pressure on me. And then same thing here. So he does the same thing, but he ends up missing it. But still, because he's able to recognize that. So he hits a pretty good drop, kind of up the line here at my partner's forehand. So now, just based on pattern recognition, more than likely she's going to try and reset it somewhere here in the middle. And then if it's high enough, that's a very attackable ball. And then he just, misses it. But otherwise, that was still a very good quality shot, And then I just missed the overhead right there. I actually nailed one of the TVs in there. But no damage was done. Yep, and then it's a good overhead there. Yep, so right there. So my opponent hits a really good slice drop, and with slice, you have to really get under the ball and put some heavy topspin on it to counter it. Otherwise, you're probably going to miss it into the net like I just did there. I just didn't put enough on it. Yep. So just a high ball there that got put away. Yep. So again, right there. So she's going cross court at an angle. My opponent stretched out. She's trying to reset this ball up the line, and ends up getting put away there. So right there, in that scenario, it probably would have been best to just reset that ball towards the middle. In general, when you get that wide dink like that, at the higher levels, if you go up the line, they're going to be looking for the Ernie almost every time. So anytime you get that wide cross court dink, it's typically best to just reset it in the middle, restart the point over, and try to get yourself back in a good position. Yep. So same thing that happened here. So I hit a really good slice return, almost at the line, and really good shot. So he has to put a lot of topspin, really get under this ball to make that shot, and he ends up getting lucky, hitting the net cord, and winning the point off of that. So that was just a really good shot, but that's exactly how you handle that heavy, slice return. Yep, it's just a bad miss there. It was a bad return, but got a little lucky there. Yep. So right there, let's see. So yeah, right there. So I kind of jammed him. He got kind of chicken winged almost. He let the ball get too far behind him instead of out in front, so he ended up missing that volley right there. Yeah, it was a good exchange there. So it's just a bad miss. So there's a let's break this down. So right here, let's see. Yeah, so right there. So anytime you get in a hands battle like that and the ball's coming, and it's like a lot of points, like, let's see, right about, so like right there, I chose to reset the ball rather than trying to speed it up because I didn't really have a good shot. A lot of people, they'll just try to just keep banging it as hard as they can, which, can work, but sometimes you just need to reset the ball in that hands exchange. Yep, so it was just a high ball there that got put away. And then I just missed the easy shot there. So I think I hit the return a little short, and then that kind of set me up for a bad shot, and I was off balance. But so yeah, that was the first game. I think we only got like 2 points that whole game, so not really that great. But it just came down to keeping the ball low, and just unforced errors is really all it was. So this is the second game. We played a lot better this game, ended up winning. Yeah, just missed an easy dink there. Wasn't bending his knees enough. Yeah, got a little lucky there. I was late on that shot for sure, but ended up getting enough topspin on it to, bail me out. Yep, so see right here, so I get this really wide dink, kind of off balance. So I do a good job of resetting it back towards the middle. A lot of people would probably leave that hanging up high for an Ernie or something like that. So I was able to get enough of an angle to reset it back toward the middle. And then we end up getting into a hands exchange and then winning that point. So that was good there. Yeah, so right there, it was a good speed up, and then I just didn't recognize it coming back. I was a little late on that. Honestly, didn't think it was coming back, and then when he got it back, I was a little off guard. So that's just one thing. You should always anticipate that the ball is coming back. No matter how good you think the shot is, just assume that it's coming back. Yep. So that's one thing that you'll see a lot here. So see how short and low this ball is. So let me see. Let me try and slow it down just a little bit more. So right here, so this ball is basically below my knees. A lot of people at the lower levels will try to speed up this ball. They'll try to attack it because they think, oh, it's a short, it's basically a bad return, but it's not necessarily an attackable ball, right? So a lot of people, they'll try to speed this up and they'll miss it into the net, or they'll miss it out, or they'll just be high and they can put it back at your feet and you end up losing the point. So the best thing to do in this scenario right here, just reset the ball. You're already almost at the kitchen. Just let yourself get up there and neutralize the point, and then try to win it from there. So I hit a little bit of a higher drop than I would have liked, but he ended up missing it and got a little lucky there. But yeah, same thing there. So I just kind of reset the ball and put us in the points. And then my partner, she tries to go up the line again, which isn't necessarily the best shot, and ends up losing it. So again, when you get that wide dink like that, going up the line, not usually the smartest play. And then get an easy put away there. Oh, yeah, so that was good. So, even though we lost the point here, so just see, so I hit a good drive, and then we get a good drop, but then we end up having to hit, a fifth, a seventh shot drop, and that's what a lot of people make the assumption that, the third shot drop is like the ticket to the kitchen. And a lot of times that's not the case. You end up having to hit a fifth or a seventh or even a ninth or an 11th shot drop. And you end up having to just continuously reset balls until you can get to the line. So just be comfortable being able to reset balls at your feet. That's one thing at the lower levels. Most players, they're not comfortable in that midcourt area. They try to rush through it, or they're just not comfortable there. So they try to hit a good third shot drop and then get all the way to the line. When in reality, it usually takes at least 2 to 3 drops before you can get to the line, especially at higher levels. Players are so good at taking balls out of the air. So just be comfortable hitting multiple drops before you get yourself to the line. But yeah, that was a good drive there. So I hit it right there towards the middle, and he's not all the way set. He's still kind of rushing up there at the last second and ended up catching him off balance there. There we go. So I'm just resetting middle here and then end up getting the easy unforced error there. Yep, so once again, she's trying to go kind of at an angle there. Again, it's probably not the best angle to go, but, probably best to go middle or even cross court the other way just because of the angle of the net. So let me break this down here. So watch. So I return it to the guy in the blue here. So this guy here, he's already poaching up at the net. So I basically have to go cross court to the other partner over here. So I hit him a ball. So he hits a good drop right here. I have to let it bounce, but he stays back. That was his opportunity to go ahead and push up. If he even comes up just a few more feet, like, he's basically at the kitchen. I have to concede. I can't hit, a drive at his body or he's going to be there to counter it. So he basically misses the opportunity here and then ended up leaving them kind of staggered, and then now they got pushed back and then they ended up losing the point. So that play was all about positioning, basically. His positioning opened up an angle for us, and then we ended up pushing both of them back because he was not able to fully push up to the line on that opportunity. People actually underestimate how important, like, just your court positioning is, like your presence on the court. Even if you're losing points, if you're making your presence known and applying pressure on your opponent, a lot of times you're going to get in your opponent's head. Even if you're losing a couple points here and there, just your mere presence is going to force your opponents to, hit certain shots that they may not feel comfortable with, or it's going to limit their options. And so, anytime that you can use your body as a weapon, not just your paddle, always a good idea. And then right here, I missed the lob serve like an idiot. And then another pop-up that gets put away. That's a big theme from these two games. And then right there, so he tries to poach up. So it was actually a good poach. So I try to, I'm trying to push it wide, but he's so athletic. He can just, and he's a lefty, so he's coming in and just poaching those balls. But he missed this one, but he doesn't miss a ton of them. He usually gets a lot of those in, so we got a little lucky there. Yeah, and then right there, the short hop gets my partner there, and we end up missing that. And then, so yeah, just watch this. So on her reset here, so just watch. It's a very like soft shot. There's not a lot of leg movements. She bends her knees a little bit, but again, it's not really. There's not a lot to it, right? It's just kind of a soft punch, and it ends up not really doing anything. So yeah, it's just kind of a, just a soft wristy shot that ends up not really doing much. So that's a really underrated aspect of like resets, is like how much of your lower body is getting involved. So that was a good two-hand backhand put away there. Then I missed the easy drive on that one. And then get a error out of that. Yeah, that's the idea there. I'm trying to set myself up. That was one thing I focused on in these two games, was that drive-drop combo. So I was aiming to keep most of my drives to the middle, and then just kind of playing that drop off that good drive. So I was pretty effective at doing that this game. So watch this here. So see, he's speeding up. Because of his paddle angle and the way his body is oriented, I was anticipating that he was probably going to come, towards the middle or even near my body a little bit. And then that's exactly what happens. So see here, that ball's coming, and it comes right at my body, and I'm able to just kind of punch that ball back, and then I punch it towards my his partner's kind of left hip area, and then I'm able to jam him, and the ball ends up going way out. So that was just a pattern recognition thing there, being able to anticipate where that ball's coming. Yeah. So this was a really poor shot selection from my partner. So watch here. So see how he's already poaching up. He's almost at the line, basically. His partner is still hanging out back here at the baseline. So this is never a good idea to give the ball to the person that's already at the line, because he's there, especially when it's right up the line. He's already there. If you give him a ball, he's basically going to punch it back, and that's exactly what happens. So almost always in that scenario, it's going to be best to hit the ball to the person that's already back. So, you want to keep, if someone's already back, you want to keep them back. If we can stagger these two players where they're like one up, one back, that's going to open up so many angles and opportunities. So we never want to give the ball to someone if there's another player that's already pushed back at the baseline. I see that all the time at the amateur levels, where you'll have one up, one back, and then they'll either give it to this player here, or they'll hit this like easy drop shot right here at the kitchen that just allows this player to come up. So we want to try and roll that shot or volley it at this player's feet if we can. So just a poor, pickleball IQ right there. Yeah, and then just misses that one altogether. Yep, and then just high drop after high drop, and then just ended up losing that one. Then I missed the drive there. I think she misses this one. Yeah, just another lob serve. Yep. Yeah, I got a little lucky there. Got pushed back off the line, and then yep, so she kind of chopped it and just ended up missing the dink there. Yep, same thing there, just kind of missed the easy dink. Yeah, and then right there, so I made a mistake. I was putting away the ball, and then I was like, let me just try to drop it in and just kind of change the pace, and then ended up leaving it a little high, and then he tipped it off the net and just ended up getting unlucky there. Yep, so just a unfortunate error right there. He missed the easy dink, but that was a good point. We had some good exchanges there. and right there I missed the easy two-hand backhand. So I did a good job of keeping them back, and then just let the pressure get to me and ended up missing the easy two-hander. Yeah, and then right there, so that was the end of the game right there, but it was actually not, so I leave that dink a little bit high. He speeds it up. My partner does a pretty good job of resetting this ball, but, well, it was still kind of high, but he ends up missing it, and again, it's a game of mistakes and errors, not winners. A lot of the points came down to, who just kept the ball lower and in play 1 point longer. It wasn't about who was hitting the most winners. It was about who was making the fewest amount of mistakes. So in the first game, we were making most of the mistakes, and then in the second game, they made a few more mistakes than we did. So that's literally what determines pickleball games at almost every level. So yeah, that's all the games I wanted to break down. If you enjoyed this type of content and you learned something new, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you want to see more type of content like this. I'm trying to get into more of this game analysis type stuff because I want to help other players, especially players that aren't local to me. And this is one of the best ways that we can break down what's going on with your game. We can really slow things down and break it down frame by frame and see exactly why you lost this point or why you won the point. So, yeah, give me some feedback, and then I'm hopefully going to be doing more videos like this, so be on the lookout for that. And then, yeah, we'll see y'all in the next video.